Hey, welcome back to Digital Champions. I'm Greg Kirkham, and today I get to speak with Liana Ling, CEO of Power Up Strategy Inc., based in Toronto, Ontario, a place close to my heart. Liana, thanks for coming on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
So, Liana, tell us about Power Up Strategy Inc. What inspired you to launch the agency, and then where did you get your start?
Sure, and my story may be familiar to others. I actually started it almost in out of necessity in a way. I am a lawyer. I actually still am. I still have my legal license, although I'm not a practicing lawyer. And after about 8 or 9 years practicing law, I was made redundant at a public company I was in-house counsel with. And at that moment, I actually realized that I was a frustrated entrepreneur all these years. I was a horrible employee. So that's probably what kind of led to what happened to me. And the first thing I did was I started my own business with a digital marketing franchise. That's how it all started. And I evolved from there as I figured out what is the best vehicle that allows me to show up in the best way for my clients. And that's how I created my agency called Power Up Strategy Inc.
Wow. So you went from being general counsel, an attorney, to becoming, you're an expert in SEO, SEM, and PPC, I believe. So,
Yes, yeah, I started doing, web design, SEO. What's interesting is I always tell people that being a lawyer is about solving problems. You just have different subject matters, and I did a lot of corporate law and collection work. And when I went into marketing, I realized that it's the same thing every single day. I'm solving problems for myself and our clients. We're just trying to figure out how to connect with people, right? How to make whatever we're selling relevant and necessary and how to get the word out. So we're just solving problems all day long. And I found it was a very natural fit.
yeah, you have a really unique perspective on how to shape the customer journey, how to shape the packages that you provide to your clientele. Um,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
it's refreshing, quite honestly. How do you
Thank
really
you.
go about making sure that you create it in a way that's highly beneficial for the client and not just unfortunately just for the agency, right?
Sure. Yes. I always so I always start from focusing on what is the result that we're trying to get at the end of the day. And I find that even business owners themselves don't look at that. It's very easy, as I'm sure you have experienced, to get distracted by the latest and greatest thing. Oh, it's TikTok now. Oh, it's Pinterest now. Oh, it's Facebook's hot, and just go over there. I'm always trying to come back to basics. What are we trying to do at the end of the day? And what is the best way to get there? If things are not working as well as we thought, again, where are we trying to go? How are we measuring success? And how are we going to pivot for the best way to get there? And as we've developed over time, I'm actually very a proponent of omni-channel marketing. I do believe that you need to be quote unquote everywhere in order to have the visibility that we actually need nowadays in order to be successful. And how do you weave that together in a cohesive plan that gets the result that you want at the end of the day?
Yeah, I always joke around with some of my agency clients that I work with. I say, although you might not have an actual crystal ball that you can look into to see the future, look at the data. Find out where the client journey begins, find out where they're actually going to be pulled from, and lean into it. Don't chase after the latest and greatest thing. Maybe test it, but don't dive in head first without knowing exactly what the results are with the other channels that you're using. So kind of feeding into your omni-channel approach, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're preaching to the choir here. Absolutely. I do believe that the data should tell you what to do next and to take emotion out of it. That's one thing I learned with especially doing ads is I stopped being emotionally attached. Because come on, we're all emotionally attached to our products we create, right? And some of the ads and the messaging, and I had to remove that and just let the data tell you.
Yeah, helping the data shape your approach is definitely going to help. substantially to actually provide the results and not have a major dip in performance. So, Liana,
Yeah.
I know that you know that this question is coming, and I hope that you're prepared for it. I like to ask every one of my guests before they, or when they come on, I guess I should say, for anybody entering into the industry, fresh, absolutely zero experience, what would be your one key piece of advice that you would give them before they ever even step foot into it?
Sure. Sure. Tactically, my advice to you is to clarify who you're serving and what your offer is. Having managed millions of dollars in ad spend, the thing that really moves the needle the most is the offer. Your ads don't have to be the best ads possible. You don't have to have every single button perfect. If your offer is so compelling, because all the platforms are so good now at just finding people for if you put that out there. And if I made the second piece of advice, just because I do think you need to brace yourself mentally, is to be consistent in your perseverance.
Mm.
Consistency will win over time and over talent, is just what my experience has been over the past 14 plus years I've been doing this.
Fantastic advice. And Liana, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to see you too, Greg.
So, to learn more about Power Up Strategy Inc. and to connect with Liana Ling, visit digitalchampionstv.com.